That is an example of a frightening way. And that is appropriate because this whole panel is called Avoid the Void, and it is about one of the most frightening damn things in the whole Tingleverse. So I thought I would start by a quick scare. I've been hiding back there for a long time. And I'm happy to be out. Now, as most panels, I'm more comfortable down below, so I will go down to the bottom. I'm gonna trot on around and be close to my friends. There are so many buckaroos here. Wow, thanks. Yeah, I think that should be in this. I'll trot on around. Thank you. That is friend of John, name of Gino. Yes. He's friend of my son John, and John sends me around and he says, I can't come with you, Chuck, but for my friends will, so they take me all around. How many buckaroos were on my other panel proving love is real? Wow, that is good. That panel was about an important message of the Tingleverse and how love is real and why that is important. But then I knew I had other panel late at night on the spookiest night of the year, July 5th. Where all the ghosts and goblins roam around Minnesota, Soda State. And I thought, what better than to talk about the scariest dang thing ever, which is the void. Well, I'll start by asking, what is everyone frightened of? Here's an example of me. Sometimes I'm frightened of, well, a couple of things. One is a man named Dracula. Even though he is handsome, okay, that is his number one superpower. He is also frightening in a scary way. And also, so is Frankenstein's monster named Frankenstein. Is anyone scared of a spooky monster that they would like to say? Maybe a skeleton that lives inside of you, or a more scary way? Anyone? What is a scary way for you? Yeah.
The Baba Yaga.
The Baba Yaga. That is frightening. What was that for? House centipedes. That is when you have 10 to 20 houses all connected in a room. And the dark and little chocolate kitchen. There are many ways that are frightening to us as buckaroos as we trot through this timeline, trying to prove love is real. But the thing that I am most scared of is name of the void. Because what the void is not a thing that even exists, because we can think of house centipedes, we all know those exist. And we can think of Frankenstein's, we know that he is always trotting around and being made of nuts and bolts. But the void is not even a thing, and that makes it the scariest of all. So we will begin in this way when I explain the void. Laugh! That was not as dramatic as I thought. Well, I will keep doing it. It would be more dramatic if there was a trumpet player there going, ooh. That would be my preference for maybe next year. What is the void? The void, there's first the Tingleverse on one side. That is all that is. So if you were on my other panel, we talked about how there are an infinite number of timelines, each one a different permutation of every damn choice that you have ever made, and of everyone before you from the beginning of the whole damn universe at the Big Bang. And this makes many, many universes of every different combination of things that could happen. Now if you imagine that in your head, you think that's about almost infinity. But the problem is that I said almost infinity. That means there are some things that have never been. That is all that isn't, and that is the void. It is that place that is not. And it's very hard to think about, but it is what it is. Next slide. Location of the void. I will explain this better. Well, here's my diagram. I know it is very easy to follow, but there are some people that I cannot tell. As you see, all realities are stacked in a tube. Now, at the top of the tube is reality of the reader. That is where we are now. That's the top layer of the Tingleverse. And each infinite different reality is stacked all the way down to the bottom, the Tingularity. That is a very strange and unique place, but I think it is a positive one, and that is my way as a buckaroo, so I choose to believe it. But Tingleverse is all these stacks, so if you want, you can imagine those stacks in your mind, like a pancake stack at the best dang pancake house in the whole place. What was the place that we went to, name of the hen house? Has anyone been to a hen house? Dang, that was tasty. I went there a couple of days ago. So imagine you were at a hen house, and you have your stack of pancakes. The top layer is your reality, bottom is the Tingularity. You think, well, I guess I understand the Tingleverse, buddy. Yeah, well, think again, bud. Because then you gotta think, well, if I have these pancakes and that's all that is, what is outside of the pancakes? And that is the void. It is outside of all stacked Tingleverse layers, and it is endless. And the bottom one says, sometimes fills the dang spaces in between the Tingleverse layers like a snake in a snake hole or other hole. And then I think that's a pretty good explanation. I think if you don't understand it, I don't know what to tell you. That's as scientific as it can get, I think. Let's go to the next slide. Oh, this is most important of all. Talking about the void can cause all kinds of strange effects called greater void madness or lesser void madness, but that is not as dramatic. So we'll mostly be concerned with greater void madness. I will read this safety precaution for you all. Before going farther, please understand, it is important not to dwell on the void for too long, as this will cause void madness, a very dangerous condition of buds. If you think on the void for too long and start to shake and drool in overwhelming cosmic dread, then you can think on a handsome tree with long branches who gives shade to all under him, and one day a bush grows below him, and he says, you can stay in my shade. And the bush says, I need light though. And then the tree says, okay, we can share. And then they both grow big and strong. Whereas my other panel, you know this, son John told me not to put that dang slide in there about the handsome tree in our yard. But I decided to anyway, because it is an important precaution. I have a very handsome tree in my yard in Billings. And then son John said, Chuck, if you start talking about a handsome tree in your presentation, you will ramble on, and it will never end. And I told him, this is for everyone's safety, and I talk about the tree. So it is important to remember, if you start thinking too hard on the void and it starts to cause your way sadness, then you can think, well, I have a story of a tree or a story of a kind bird who came along and said, hey, I want to go outside and play in the sun or horse around in that way. So I think that just remember, if you start to shake and drool because you think on the void too much, just take a minute and think on something else that has a kind way. Now we're going to go start talking about deep void knowledge. So I will say, next slide. Void madness. This is, if you think you might have void madness, this is what will happen. Dark ooze from the eyes, dark ooze from mouth, tentacles from back, talking like marbles. In this picture, you can see this buckaroo. It's probably no longer a buckaroo. He has a scoundrel way. So keep that in mind. Next slide. Void crabs. This is a very common creature of the void. Void crabs are kind of like normal crabs, but they're very big and they're oozing all the time. And this is a creature from my book, the Chuck Tingle's Complete Guide to the Void. I'll take a minute because it's very scientific and technical, and I will read tell you all about this wave. Void crabs are similar in appearance to lake crabs that you might find on this layer of reality, although their shells are jet black and their claws are slightly larger. Along with these external differences, void crabs contain no internal organs to speak of, powered entirely by a thick, tar-like substance that fills their shell. This substance is responsible for their movement, as well as their limited thought patterns. If the shell of a void crab is cracked, the tar within will come spilling out, and it is not uncommon for this ooze to randomly bubble forth between the joints of these disgusting creatures as they move, leaving slimy, toxic trails. Although they are very low intelligence, void crabs are known to have limited, well, I know now that word is misspelled. And this is I will say this is copy and pasted from the book, so if you have just purchased this book, I apologize for this spelling error. But that should say the word of psychic abilities. Now, in case you do not know what that is, I will say, has anyone read a book by a man named Steve King? Like Jack's Back, My Dad in the Maze. Or That Dang Dog. Not as many fans of That Dang Dog, I see. What about I'm a clown and this is my dang balloon? Gotcha. That one is very frightening. I've only read part of that one. It scared me too much. But we are talking about psychic abilities. That's from Jack's Back, My Dad in the Maze. And then there's a boy there, and he thinks, and he can read thoughts and see things that are from the other layer of reality. So that is a good example. And now we'll continue, as will be further described in the Shrieking Mass section. That is the technical part. We do not need that. Let's move on! That is a frightening void worm. This is also a very common creature of the void. There are void crabs and void worms. And they crawl around in the bottom of the void, which is a big, vast, endless space, mostly hunting for scraps and eating whatever they can scavenge. Sometimes things that have fallen in from different timelines, and sometimes poor unfortunate buckaroos that have trotted into the void. I will read the technical about void worms. The void is home to a whole menagerie of invertebrates, ranging in size from just a few centimeters long to the length of a city bus. Some believe that the unexplored depths of the void are hosting the even larger worms, and because of this fact, the void itself is infinite. It is not too difficult to imagine a creature lurking somewhere in the darkness that is mightier than we could even begin to imagine. Note, please do not attempt to imagine the size of this worm. It can cause void madness. I probably should have cut this all out, because now you're probably thinking of a very large void worm, and you may be shaking and drooling in terror. Okay, we will combat this way. Now, this is what I'm talking about when we think on a handsome tree to stop void madness. But we are all together proving love, and I can feel that there's a lot of dang love in this room. So I will lead us in a chant to cure void madness. And it goes something like this. You can do this at home. Love is real. Love is real. Love is real.
Love is real. Love is real.
Thank you. Now we worship you, brewing in cosmic horror at the overwhelming weight of the existential dread of the size of the big universe. You probably feel a little better. And I think that I do too. Back to the show. Most common type of worm in the void is about the size of a human arm and resembles a tentacle you would find connected to a large squid. These creatures appear so similar to appendages of our ocean-dwelling friends. In fact, they are often referred to as tentacles themselves, although this is technically incorrect because they do not connect to a larger beast. So that is important. And then also, as a side note, Michael Bukowski, I do not know this man, but he is an illustrator, and he made a bunch of drawing of void creatures based on based on this book that we got to the void with. He just messaged me one day and said, may I draw these creatures for you and put them on a book? And I think he put them to a charity. So that is not a jokester way, that is a way to say that is his name and he is a kind man and he drew good pictures. Next slide! We have all seen this movie, I make this look good. In our cartoons. Shrinking Mass has featured is featured in that film. In some way, that's the closest approximation I've ever seen. Shrinking Mass is a very scary way when you have, well, I'll read the technical way. Scavengers of the water, so rampant, that's not uncommon for them to become a single entity, bonded by their horrific nature and psychic disdain for the various layers of our reality. Did I spell psychic correctly this time? I did! Wow! That means I am 50% good speller. I get half my words right. In this form, the scavengers are known as a shrieking mass, or sometimes a bubbling horror. These amalgamations of smaller critters can be made up of void crabs, void worms, or any small and frightening monster from the deep, fusing together both physically and mentally. Scientists posit this was initially done as a defense mechanism against other larger void beasts, but it has eventually become a common means of disguise for void creatures entering our realm. If a shrieking mass can find itself a suitable host skin to cloak its horrific, lonely ways, it can become very difficult to tell the difference between a shrieking mass and a real human being. Now there is a very famous shrieking mask, but I would not like to get too political. I'm not trying to say any bad ways, but I will say that if you've seen the movie, first I was lost in my own house, now I'm lost in dang New York City. There is a cameo by a shrieking mass in this film. I will also say that I have many books written about a man named Donald Trump, who is not, if you are a political junkie and you know the names, you might be able to guess who that is in our timeline. But only the deepest political thinkers will understand this reference, and then that one's for you, buddy. Now we are all on the same page. Next slide! Devils. These are the main citizens of the void. As you can see from that shadow there, as a devilish way, you'd never know. Devils come to the Tingleverse with one goal in mind, to pursue the devil man agenda. Now we'll stop here to see, when we trot along together and prove love, that is the buckaroo lifestyle. And that is what I like to participate in. Opposite of that is the name of the devil man agenda. And then I would highly recommend not trotting in that way, because it is bad. I will continue. While the exact specifics of this mission are not entirely known, it is generally accepted that the devil man agenda is squarely focused on bringing chaos, sadness, and ruin to any timeline they can find. While some devils attempt to bring this result to fruition on their own terms, running solo as they destroy anything in their path. Others are terrifyingly organized and effective, carrying out various plots by way of their underground network of darkness. It is a known fact that devils more commonly infiltrate positions of power. Now, I put some notable devils there. First one is my dang neighbor, Ted Cobbler. I knew that the soda stain was part of the buckaroo lifestyle. I knew that. This is another part that my son John said, Chuck, you don't gotta put that in your presentation. No, nobody's gonna boo in his head. And I said, you don't know the buckaroos in Minnesota, they know you. I was always trying walking down Dang Street like he owns the dang place. Anyway, another notable devil is the man with no eyes and readers for hair. He has a very frightening way. it is very important to not think on him. So I have decided to not include his slide, because the more you think about him, the closer he gets. And if you think about him today, is he in the bank? Is he in here? Okay. He's not in here yet, but if he shows up, that'd be not good, because when you see him, then you start thinking about him more, and it makes you nervous, and it gives you an anxious way. Has anyone ever had an anxious way? Yeah. Me too. I get it all the damn time, and I think that the void manifests itself in many ways, and for me, it makes itself in an anxious way very late at night. And when I think on the man with no eyes and wieners for hair, I think, I should not think on this way, then he will get closer. And then the more I think, I will not think on this way, then I'm thinking on that way. And it creates a loop. And I think this is something that we all know. And I think that it is important to look around a room of fellow buckaroos and realize how many people just raise their hand when we start talking about that anxiety. And to remember this is something that we all share. And that we're a dang team against one dang guy with dang wieners for hair. And it's all of us versus him. There's nothing to be afraid of. So I think that it's important to remember that we're a whole dang team of buckaroos trying together. And then I will also think about the fact that I just devoted a whole 3 minutes to something we're not supposed to dang talk about. That is a big problem. So let's go to the next slide. Wow. These are greater cosmic horrors. Because the void is things that they cannot be. There's all kinds of strange creatures roaming around in the darkness, floating around, things that are unimaginable, and if you think on your way, then your brain will melt and you will shake and drool. And I think it's probably a good idea to move on to the next slide now, because I'm thinking about that. Scoundrels. This is going to ask some important questions. In the Tingleverse, there are scoundrels and there are devils. And this is an important distinction to make. With a devil, you think, wow, you are from the void. And then when you meet a devil and they cross your path and they treat you in a bad way, you might think, wow, I'm going to prove love and be nice to you, devil. And then that's okay, but I think a devil, because they are of the void, is a great example of proving love to yourself. And if it's time to prove love to yourself with a devil, you just say, this is my boundary and I'm sticking to it, and I'm going to prove love to myself, and I'm going to do what I need to prove love instead of trying to put a bunch of energy into this devil way. I think it's important to remember is, I talked about this a bit in my other presentation, that's part of the dang buckaroo lifestyle. We are always trying to prove love, so sometimes it's very easy to think, to see a devil man and think, wow, I'm going to try to help you out in all this way, and you think that's how I prove love. Well, proving love is a complicated thing. Sometimes people like to talk and say, oh, prove love, that means saying yes to everything, that means pleasing everybody. But you got to remember the love of yourself. And then sometimes that's the most important love at all, and to say, this is my dang boundary. And you have to know that it is okay to have a boundary. And it's okay to say, today is my day, and I'm going to make sure that I'm the one who feels good at the end of this day. And don't be afraid to do that. Now that we have it covered, I'll talk about scoundrels, because they are similar to devils. But I would say that a scoundrel is something that maybe is not of the void. Maybe this is someone who has a void way who you think, I have the energy to help in this way, and it's not bringing me down too much. I'm going to go out of my way and I'm going to prove love is real in this way. So the difference between scoundrel and devil is a devil is just of the void, and we just can't be dang helped, and you think, I'm going to keep that away and I'm going to protect myself and prove love to myself. Scoundrel is maybe a friend going through a hard time or other way, and you think, I'm going to reach out my hand and see if I can help, as long as that is healthy for me in my way, and I will try to see if I can do that for you. So that is an important distinction to make. Now, reverse twins, are they scoundrels or devils? A reverse twin is someone from a different timeline, and sometimes they can come and try to steal your bones so people think they are from the void, but sometimes they try to come and give you a hug. So, to answer the question that is very obvious, are they scoundrels or devils? If the verse train is more likely a scoundrel than a devil. And there's a notable scoundrel in my life. His name is Chuck and he lives in my walls. That's a long topic. Very complicated that I have Truck Man in the wall. So let's go to the next slide. The lonesome train. Now this is an important talk. This is a very important way. First of all, I will talk about my own way with the lonesome train. There are many buckaroos trotting along who think about the lonesome train. And I will say, raise hand if buckaroos know me on the way of Twitters or a Facebook. Anyone? Yes, I like to post a lot on there. Sometimes when I'm late at night and I feel that anxiety coming on, I think about the lonesome train. The lonesome train is my #1 cause of this anxiety, and it has been since I was young. And when I was young, I would hear it off in the distance late at night, pretty much dang old at night, and it would make me feel in a sad way. And then it would touch me in my heart and think, dang, the world is a big place. So I think that it has evolved for a lot of people. The lonesome train to some people can mean that they are depressed and sad, but I will talk about what it means to me. Well, to me, the lonesome train is what you ride on when it is time to leave this timeline. And when I was very young, my unique way made me think on that all the dang time at a very young age when it was probably not very appropriate. And I would think about the lonesome train and think, wow, everyone I know is going to ride on a lonesome train one day and go far away. And that's just so sad for me. And over time, that started to really drag me down. I think the lonesome train comes for everyone. And the way I started to deal with it is to think, well, on this timeline, there's a lot that is different about each and every one of us. But one of the things that is the same is that we all eventually ride the lonesome train. And so I guess maybe it's not really that lonesome after all. Because in my mind, I thought, I'm probably the only one that's going to be riding it that night when it comes to picking me up. And now I realize that whatever your lonesome train is, whether it's this anxiety of the man with no eyes and wieners for hair, or the anxiety of leaving the timeline and disappearing forever, or the anxiety of maybe hurting yourself in a certain way, or the anxiety of feeling sad, you gotta remember, the lonesome train is not actually very lonesome. It just seems like it. We all are riding our own lonesome train. We're all afraid of the lonesome train in our own way. And that's what connects us all as human beings on this timeline. So next time you hear the call lonesome train, just remember that it's not actually that lonesome. That's a very loud call that we all hear together, and we all can trot together and work together to make it be maybe a party train when you get on it. And we say, guess what, buddy? We're not going anywhere bad. We're gonna go trot on down to the store and then drink some chocolate milks together. And I will say to you that is what helps me think about the lonesome train, but it's a very complicated way. And so we each have our own personal relationship with it. And the last thing I will say is that if the lonesome train is a way that makes you think that you're hurting so much, and then you think, I'm all alone and I hurt so much, please remember that we all hear it, and that you can reach out to a bud and say, I've been hearing the lonesome train so much today. Well, what can we do? And your bud can say, well, we can go to the park, or I can just sit with you and listen to your way. And sometimes just talking with a bud will help. But do not be afraid to reach out to a bud if you hear, will you promise me this way? Yeah! Thank you. That's a buckaroo pact. Don't forget it. All right, let's go to the next slide. Well, okay, last thing. It's very scary, but it is not of the void for me. This is a part of trotting through life, and we will trot it together. Next slide. The frozen lake. The frozen lake is a very cold place in Billings, but it is not of the void. It is very frightening and lonesome in the way of a lonesome train. And this is a place that calls to me sometimes when I'm sitting and John says, what do you think about Chuck? And I say, well, nothing, son John. I don't really in my mind. I'm thinking, I want to trot up to the frozen lake and see what's going on up there. So I always think to some buckaroos, they think that wanting to go to a frozen lake is wanting to go somewhere that you know is not very good for you, but it keeps on thinking in the back of your mind. So I will say that in the same way the lonesome train, if you were thinking, dang, I'm gonna trot up to that lake again and see if the water's still cold, well, it is probably cold, buddy. It's got frozen lake in the dang name. But we all know that the way it goes with the frozen lake is sometimes, you just gotta go and dip your finger in the water and say, well, I guess my finger's not cold, so I'm gonna put my whole dang hand in. I can't really tell, so maybe I'm gonna go spin out to the buoy and see if it's still cold. And most of the time it dang is. So if you wanna go frozen lake, I would say, call on the bud to say, I've been thinking about the lake, or I've been thinking about the train, and maybe we can go try out and think about that handsome tree in your yard together. And maybe we can just listen to each other. So I think that is important. Next slide, buddy. Void survival. Well, the void is leaking into your timeline, you can normally tell. You'll see a black tar-like substance that bubbles up with or without heat. Any creature of the void, or void creatures such as void ooze, or worm trails, or crabs, or anything like that. Strong acidic smell or scent of burning. Pain waves, that's normally dark magic. And thoughts that may be associated with void madness, or swarms of flies. Now those are signs of the void, so if you start seeing those, you probably gotta get the heck out of there, buddy. Let's go to the next one. Okay, I will read this short say this from Complete Guide to the Void on Void Survival. Regardless of what timeline you are reading this on, the greatest weapon that we have against the void is love. This is because love is the only force that's real on every timeline of the Tingleverse. It has to drive it. We can do it at I would say anytime that you want applause when someone says love, that's a dang good time to stop and take a moment and think, I will clap for love. No better time than that. This is because love is the only force that's real on every timeline. It's driving ingredient behind all forms of buckaroo, charming men, and hot-to-trot magic. Love is so powerful, in fact, that even those who do not have the power to organize love into a coherent spell, that's wizard talk, can still use its cosmic force to battle the void. If you encounter a void leak, immediately prove love in the most potent and direct way you possibly can. A simple method would be to give your bud a meaningful compliment, or to call up a loved one on the phone and tell them that you're thinking about them. Other buckaroos have decided to battle forces of void by donating money to a good cause or helping out at their local food bank. So if you start to feel that you are in the presence of the void, well, I have been in the presence of the void several times. Does anyone know what the Heroes Award was? I did not know what it was until one day I got nominated for it. But now I know, and that was a strange point in my life when I came face to face with some creatures of the void who they tried to nominate me in a way that they thought, I'm gonna get them and prove that love is not real by making a joke way out of this jokester man. But what they didn't realize is that my way may be jokester way sometimes, but most of the time it is a pure way of proving love is real. And unfortunately for those devils, they did not know that love is the most powerful force in the whole damn universe. And that was a very good example of my own personal life where I thought, wow, what am I going to do here? I'm faced with these devils and I can fight this battle of love. And I thought, well, now there's a big audience for proving love is real. Maybe if I put out some love into the universe, it will multiply and multiply and multiply and build and help other buckaroos with their trough. And then the next thing you knew, I'm standing here in front of all of you, proving love is real with you, and you're proving it back to me. And I mean so much to me. I want to say thank you. I feel very accepted in this way. And I know you're probably excited thinking, oh, I got to go see Chuck, but I will tell you that when I was hiding back here before I scared you, yeah, the whole time I was thinking, I'm so lucky to be here proving love to all you, because you are the ones that have shown me that love is real, just as much as I have shown it to you because of your way. And every single day that I have been here at this convention, I have seen it in so many dang ways. So I will say thank you for that. Next time, Lost in the Void. If you are unfortunate enough to find yourself trapped within the void, the first thing to do is not panic. Making quick decisions is important, but when those decisions are driven by fear and anxiety, you are already falling into the void's most obvious trap. This is a quick and easy descent into void madness just waiting to happen. Instead, take a deep breath and make your best attempt to fortify yourself with love. The void is an infinite expanse of darkness where no love can be found, but you are a creature of light, and you can rely on yourself to prove love in even the most dire circumstances. Yes, the road ahead may be long and difficult, but it is possible to come back from the void. Always remember that. The void is a place without love because it is a place where nothing exists. But if you find yourself stuck there, do not forget that you are a battery of love that is infinite, and no amount of endless void can stop an infinite battery of love. In fact, I probably should have wrote Lost in the Void and then crossed it out and said, can't get lost in the void, buddy, because you're there and you have a lot of love. So I will change that for the next presentation. Let's go next slide. Final thoughts. Remember this, when you are a top-tier Buckaroo Avenger, or just a typical buck in your neighborhood, your way matters. As long as you are proving love, you are pushing back against the void and the devil man agenda. Drop by drop, little by little, we all find ourselves in the position to not only fight the void, but to leave a little love behind. Hence, love cannot come from the void itself. It's up to us to step forward and push some love there whenever possible. I will take a break from that to say this. So sometimes people say, why do you say proving love is real? Why not just love is real? Well, I say that too sometimes. But I think it is important to prove love because that is an active step. That is getting up and saying, love is here and the void is here. And I can just trot along with my own knowledge that love is real, and that is a-okay, buddy. I will not follow you for that. But also you can get up and say, today I will make active step to prove love. And maybe someone who is not feeling love as much will see that, and that will help them in that way. So pushing into the void to prove love is so important. Well, it may seem like nothing but crumbs at first. Those crumbs will eventually become pebbles, and those pebbles will become rocks. And eventually there will be an entire avalanche of love that cascades into the void from every layer of the Tingleverse, sweeping away void crabs as it completely changes the ecosystem of this vast darkness. That is my dream. Is there another slide? That is my dream, and that is my presentation. I will moderate, I think. I will look, but I'm going to stand up here so I can see you feel like, oh, I'm fine, I will do it. Hey, I'm back. I thought it was over, but guess what? It was Q&A time. Anyone have any questions about the void or the Tingleverse or the Lonesome Train or any other way? Yes.
How dark is the void?
Well, that's an interesting question. I would say he asked how dark the void is. I would say that most of the time you think the void is a black, endless place, but really the void has no color. So as human beings, we imagine that it is black because that is kind of a spooky color for bubbling tar and that type of thing, and it reminds us of being afraid of the dark. But really, the void has no color at all because it does not exist.
Thanks, Buckaroo.
Thank you, Buckaroo. Orange.
What layer of the Tingleverse do handsome T-Rex lawyers come from?
Wow, good question. What layer of Tingleverse do handsome T-Rex lawyers come from? Well, this is a hard question because there are infinite layers of the Tingleverse. Well, almost infinite, so you can basically call it that. So really, they're pretty much on most layers. There are some on this layers, and I would say most layers nearby. So I would say answer is if you're trying to find a layer with a handsome T-Rex lawyer, then pretty much just flip a dang coin and you'll probably land on one. They're very common and very handsome. A hat with a Pokemon on it that I do not know the name of. Snorlax, yes.
I'm a new Buckaroo, so I apologize if this is common knowledge, but what is your favorite way to show love?
Oh, good question. My favorite way to prove love is real. Well, this is an interesting one. I think that when you're thinking about proving love, a lot of people think of big, grand ideas, but very small ways can prove love. And sometimes it seems like such a small way that it doesn't matter. And I would say my favorite way of proving love is just when I'm sitting at home with my son John and his wife Chloe, and we are sitting on the couch watching a TV show, and maybe you just had a nice dinner, and we are spending time together, and then you just look over and think, wow, this feels very nice to be with my family right now, and I'm so proud of my son, and I would like to be like him one day. And you think, well, that's just a thought, Chuck, that's not really proving love. But I think in a small way, when you think that and you're sitting with your friends or your family or just maybe buds you just met that you like, or maybe a hard bud who you want to horse around with, and you sit there and you think that about each other and you enjoy each other's presence, that keeps the lonesome train at bay in a way that I think that we don't really realize, but it's a very important way just to sit in each other's presence. And you can even prove love in that way. Yes.
If you show a void crab love, will it turn into a regular crab?
That's a good question. You show void crab love, will it turn into regular crab? Well, I'm not the ultimate expert, and there are many scientists who have different ideas of this. But I will say the way of the void is probably where I would set a boundary. And I think that's the important thing to remember is some people say, oh, Tingleverse, that's all about love and love being real. And I say, yes, that is true. But never forget self-love and never forget the love to say, hey, you dang crab. I know that you probably just want to pinch somebody, and I can't really fault you for that because you got dang pinchers right there. But I think that I'm going to go stand over here and trot around with my friends while you're pinching the air and gnashing your teeth. So I would say that I'm not totally sure, but because it is of the void, I would probably say steer clear and say, guess what, buddy, I'm going to prove love is real on my own terms, and here is my boundary. And I would say, avoid that dang crab. Okay.
Okay, conversely, can you consume a void crab like with lemon and butter?
Yeah, the question was, can you consume a void crab? In Billings, there has been a restaurant that has opened up where they have taken hunted void crabs and out of the dumpsters or wherever they find them, and they try to cook them up and fry them and serve them. And so far, most of the buckaroos who have eaten there have said, yeah, wow, that tastes good, and now I can hear the groan of 1,000 collapsing stars as I shake and drool in existential dread. So the reviews are hot, and so far so good, but I don't think I'm ready to consume that way yet. Yes?
How do you recognize your reverse twin?
How do you recognize your reverse twin? That's a good one. Well, most of the time reverse twins look a lot like you when they show up because reverse twins are you from a nearby timeline who have traveled and to come meet you in this one. And I will say that if you see one and they are knocking on your window saying, hey Chuck, I don't want to steal your bones or anything, but maybe let me in before you go to bed. And if you wake up with no bones, then it probably wasn't me. So I say to that, I will keep my window closed tonight, thank you very much. But if a reverse twin shows up and maybe that's just looks a lot like you, but instead they have 6 eyes instead of 2, or maybe their feet are backwards, or maybe there's all kinds of ways. I mean, there are infinite ways, and they just say, "Hi, I'm your reverse twin, and I think we have a lot in common." It's you don't need to be afraid if that is the case. You can say, "Come on, I think we could maybe learn a lot from each other." So I think it was important to recognize that reverse twins can come in all shapes and sizes. And the most important thing to always remember, this timeline is one of an infinite. So always remember, you are someone else's reverse twin. And they might be afraid of you like you are of them, and always think, wow, I gotta remember that I'm the reverse twin here too. And then I think we can prove love if we can find the things that make us similar and not different in that way. Yes.
Does the handsome tree in your backyard have any cute ladybug friends?
Well, yes, the neighborhood birds sit on the branches, and there are some ladybug neighborhood birds still up in there singing their songs. So I would say the answer is yes to that. And then they are one of the hit bands in Billings. I listen to them every day morning when I wake up, and they are singing their dang songs. And I think, wow, that's a dang good song. Thank you for being in this tree. So yes, there is a ladybug friend for the handsome tree. And I think that there are some other trees in the neighbor's yard, not Ted Cobbler's yard. Nothing grows there. But on the other side of the street, there is a ladybug tree that sways in the wind, and when I walk by, I say, "Hello, you having a good day?" And she says, "Yes, I am." Next question. Yes. Oh, there are glasses first, and then behind.
Are you a cat or a dog person?
Wow, that's a good question. Am I a cat or a dog person? Well, I would say, I know it is kind of a cheating answer to say both for different ways, but I would say after a long day of trotting around, maybe at the park, and when I'm very tired, you go dang home and you say, "Dang, I would like to sit with a cat on my lap right now." And then in a tired day, I'm a cat person, but sometimes in the morning when I wake up, I think, wow, when I go to the dang park, I hope I see a dog that is prancing around and enjoying the sun, and then proving love in that way. So I think it depends on my mood if I am tired or full of riled up on a chocolate milk. Oh yes, but
Which would help you avoid void crabs more, a sentient jet or a handsome T-Rex lawyer?
wow, good question. When avoiding the void crabs, would you like to be around a sentient jet or a handsome T-Rex lawyer? Well, I would say that because the void crabs are very low intelligence, I would say that the jet would be good, because if they become a shrieking mass, which is a wave of crabs and worms, sometimes a big old tidal wave, sometimes it is human organ shaped, sometimes it is tidal wave. I would say that flying away in your jet would be good. But if you were with a devil who was maybe trying to come after you, I would say probably the T-Rex lawyer could protect you using the legal system. Yes.
So as an artist, how do you make sure that the art that you make is always proving love and isn't of the void?
That is such a dang good question. The question was, as an artist, how do you make sure that your art is proving love and not of the void? This is kind of a difficult one, I think, and I don't know if there's any fully correct answer, but I would say that it is important to find out for yourself if you are creating things to think, wow, does this prove love is real? Because if you do that, I can guarantee and promise that even if it does not find the big audience you're looking for, make all the dang money, make your dang millionaire, it will make your soul enlarged and make it so that others will see it and think, wow, this proves love. I want to be a part of this. And I think it is so important. So I would say that in the beginning, it's kind of hard to tell what the motivation is, and you must look inward, but you will know if you did a good job if it starts to spread out across the land, because things that prove love will spread out, because love is the most powerful force in all timelines, and there's pretty much no way of stopping it if you create something with love. So you will know pretty soon after. Yeah, red shirt, and then striped shirt.
What do you think makes a good podcast host?
Dang, what do I think makes a good podcast host? Well, I host a podcast, but it hasn't been made in a little bit. But I think that I was a pretty good host telling stories. So I would say they're probably the best podcast hosts because the ones that I have listened to, ones that you say, wow, that person is a dang good listener. So I'd say to be a podcast host, most would think, wow, you gotta be a dang good talker to be a podcast host. But to me, I would say, you gotta be a dang good listener to be a podcast host. Strike shirt.
People have said that this timeline is doomed. Do you think this is a doomed timeline?
Oh, I have a secret to say about this. The question was, is this timeline doomed? Well, first of all, I will give away a secret. I can travel through timelines. And I have been ahead in this timeline, and I will tell you that this timeline is not actually doomed, and here is why. It's because buckaroos like all of you here are making an effort more than ever to go out and prove love is real. And that because of the efforts of all of you, not in a sense of all of you like some big story that is not actually you, but something else we're talking about, I literally mean every single person in this room will go out and change this timeline in a better way and prove love is real. So I will say that whenever you feel like it is doomed, just think, wow, I was in a whole dang room with other buckaroos trying to prove love, and love is the most powerful force in every timeline, and over time that will always win as long as we make sure to get up every day and prove love is real. So that is my hint to you. I've looked ahead, and when we put in effort to prove love, it will all work out in the end. I believe that way. How are we on the time on this timeline? 5 minutes, okay. Any more questions? Oh, yes, in the back.
Sometimes a bud is clearly at the frozen lake. Do you have any suggestions for how to prove love to somebody who might not be in a really good space?
Yes. If a bud is at the frozen lake, the question was, if a bud is at the frozen lake, what are some suggestions to prove love is real to this bud? Now, this is a very hard one because, well, here's a metaphor that I would use. If you have a bud in the frozen lake, that water's dang cold, and you see your bud, and you love your bud, and you want to prove love by reaching in that lake and getting them out. I think that it is okay to go and reach in that lake and try to pull out your bud. But if you reach in the lake and pull out your bud and they start to pull you in, you gotta pull back a bit. And maybe you can step up and try again. And maybe you can step up and try again. And sometimes you can pull your bud out of the lake. And sometimes that will, every time you get pulled in a little bit more until suddenly you look up and you realize that you're in the frozen lake too. So I would say that every situation is different, but you gotta always remember to try to help your bud and prove love to your bud, but you gotta remember to prove love to yourself, and that is so important. And you can't let yourself freeze in the lake too. So I would say, go out, try to prove love, and try to help every bud you can, but also remember that you have to be a bud to yourself, and that is very important. And yes. But I also like to follow to say that if you would like maybe a practical way is to say, just to reach out to your bud and say, hey, I know you're swimming in those frozen waters, but we got something very warmed up going on, and all our buds are here, so maybe if you want to get warm for a while, and then just be in their presence and listen to their way, and you don't even have to say, hey, why are you going to frozen lake so much? Sometimes you can just say, come on over and see what it feels like to be warm for a little bit. And that's called leading by example. So I think that is a good way to do that. Any more questions? That is good timing because we are out of time and that's all the questions. Well, I will say one last thing. Thank you so much for being here, and it really means the dang whole universe to me that you are here proving love with me. It makes me very emotional. I don't know if you can tell because I am wearing a mask to have my privacy as a doctor. But it makes me feel so strongly, and when I think about love being real and I see everyone here, I just want you to know that Every timeline that has separated has brought you here, and that you are so unique and infinite in a way that you will never know. And you are the best person at being you that there is in the whole universe. There is only one of you, and that is your superpower of improving love. So if you ever think, I don't know how to prove love, I don't know how to fight against the void, just remember that you are one out of an infinite amount of permutations of every timeline, and that makes you so darn special you can't even imagine it. So always remember that you have that power to fight against the void, and always remember that all these other buckaroos are trotting along with you. And I'm Chuck Tingle, and that is my presentation. Thank you.